Howdy, howdy, everyone. Welcome to Russia. Welcome. I'm not in Russia right now, but I'm streaming live about a very important thing that is happening in Russia. Would you please give me 5 by 5? Can you hear me and see me well? Thank you for Robert 5 by 5. RW, pleasure to see you here. Everyone, thank you for joining. This is a very unusual stream, so I'm not really prepared, so I'll be improvising, so hang on. Hang on. Trying to set up second computer. Я слышу, если что. All right. So basically, what I want to do today is I'm listening to Putin speaking live right now. I have wrote down. He's been live for about 42 minutes. I have written down everything he said, and I'm gonna let you know in nutshell, basically. And like I said, my friends, if you watched my stream a couple days ago about what was gonna happen, I swear I did not write his speech. I didn't know what he would be talking about. I only used my logic, common sense. But you know what? I said that his message would consist of two parts. First part is blah blah blah, and then I give you approximate things what he would be speaking in the blah 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 part. And the second part would be down to the point what Russia will do next. Well, the first part is still going on, the blah 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 part, and you know what? I was spot on pretty much everything. In a couple minutes, I'll give you a short summary because I'm writing everything down. I swear I did not write his speech. Okay. I did not know. I don't have inside or, nothing like that. I swear. Mr. Blah Blah Blah. That's what he is. Now, I will not pay attention much to the comments right now. Perhaps later. I will give you heads up on what Putin has spoken about so far. And I'll be very quick. I think he's going to be doing blah, blah, blah for, 5-10 minutes. So I will try to be fast. Now, folks, I see Lorna and Mommy. Thank you for joining. It's early. Usual suspects. We have 1,000 people right now. What a friggin' tragedy. Hang on. Now, let me give you a short summary of his speech so far. we step by step will be reaching the goals that are that we have. And he talked about the special military operation, the war with Ukraine. Then he started the usual blah blah blah. I said Russia did everything possible to solve Ukrainian problem, like there was a problem in Ukraine, by peaceful means. But the statements of Western leaders turned out, their promises turned out to be the lies and deceit. We remember of Ukraine trying to get nuclear weapons. He said, Russia will do, they're not playing a fair game in the West. The powers of the Western countries are very cynic towards own population. They give their voters promises of peace, but in reality, they care about wars. Putin spoke of NATO expansion, and he said that the most aggressive country in the world is the United States, and it has hundreds of military bases all over the world. He reminded everyone that in December 21, Russia gave the West the drafts of agreements, about the war guarantees of security and safety, and then the West declined and failed to cooperate with Russia. Well, I remember that it was an ultimatum. It was not drafts of agreements. It was ultimatum that Putin gave. I quote Putin, "It's them who started the war, and we are just using force to stop it." Just what I thought. Then he said that it's the West who let the genie out of the bottle. He said that no one cares about how many people die. No one cares in the West because, trillions of dollars are at stake for the West. In the 30s of 20th century, the West opened the way to Nazis in Germany, and now they're doing the same thing in Ukraine almost 100 years ago after. The Project Ukraine started being developed by the Western powers in 19th century when it was still Austrian-Hungarian Empire. They wanted to break historical lands of Russia from Russia. And he said that in Ukraine is very popular as the symbols of the Third Reich, Das Reich. He also said that Russia is not at war with regular folks, regular people of Ukraine. But regular people of Ukraine are victims of the West and Ukraine's Western masters. The populace of Ukraine, regular people of Ukraine, are made by just collateral damage, and this is very sad. The West is using Ukraine as a weapon, a tool against Russia. Then he said he's threatened the higher caliber systems of weapon systems, the longer distance weapon systems used in Ukraine, then the Russians would be forced to use longer range weapons as well. The West is trying to. I'm sorry, it's really hard because I'm listening with one ear and I'm telling you on another ear, you know. I hope you bear with me. Then he says the West is trying to change this war in Ukraine into a global stand. We understand that, Putin says, and we're going to be acting accordingly. Then he starts talking about the West. Look what's going on in the West. Pedophiles is the norm. The priests approve marriages between men and women and women. Then he says gay marriages, right? He says he says that he suggests to go back to holy book, all books of all world religions, and what they say about same-sex marriages. He says that the West offers the idea of a gender-neutral God. He says, please, God, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Tell you what, he's got balls to do that, to say that. Gosh. He's playing with fire, that's definitely. He's telling it to God like this. Isn't he afraid? Our multinational people, multinational populace has supported this special military operation, he says. And supporting this operation is real patriotism. Now he means business. And then he thanked entire population of Russia for heroism and courage. Then he starts thinking of everyone and says, well, please forgive me that I can't thank all soldiers and there's just too many. Then he said that he addressed to the people of Donbass. He said that the referendums, people of Donbass decided their own future. You're right. Now he talks about traitors. Now we're not gonna punish those who just sidestepped, but those who going on the path of traitorship of Russia are going to be punished according to the law. Didn't sound good. Didn't sound promising, let me tell you. Now he talked about this whole blah, blah, blah talk. Blah, blah, fluff. I call it, I don't know, fluff. Is this the right word? But предложил создать. Then he started talking about the help, support of soldiers, fallen soldiers, their families and stuff like that, you know. Now talking about the economy. Talking about the economy, what are they going to do? They're going to invest into the infrastructure, he says. Ports of Azov and Black Sea will be developed. International transportation corridors north-south is going to be developed. It's blah, 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 blah. So he says that that will connect north of Russia to the south of Russia and further, Iran, Azerbaijan. He's talking about that there will be steps to develop railroad infrastructure eastwards. talking about improving telecom, road network in 24. More than 85% of roads in all big cities will be fixed. Yeah, they're, he admits that they're shit. Okay. Uh, right now, there are more than 50% of households in Russia don't have natural gas. He says that they will be expanding gasification of Russian households. Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Vladimir. What about, isn't that what you talked about 20 years ago when you were becoming the president for the first time? Oh, they're going to be fixing apartment blocks and houses, and they're going to invest 4.5 trillion rubles into that. And where would you take those rubles? Are you going to print them? He's asking the government to work effectively. He's talking about empowering Russian economy, making it more technological, giving more mortgages uh, at a special rate. He's talking specifics of some kind of loans they're gonna give to, I guess, companies that are going to modernize technological means. Talking about new clusters, production clusters, basically says that they're gonna start developing manufacturing and industrial clusters, industrial centers. They're gonna spend $10 trillion. Folks, what he's saying doesn't make any sense. They're gonna cut expenses by a huge deal because their revenues have been cut. If you're a household, if you lose a job, if you lose income, what do? Do you start spending more for going out to the movies, more to building a new house, a second home for you, or you cut your expenses down to nothing, just trying to survive? Well, Russia has lost revenues, but he's talking about, oh, we're gonna be spending so way more than we have been. The guy is not making any sense. He promises to lower taxes, income taxes for companies. I wish and I hope that everyone who is listening right now is marking his words, because you're gonna take these words and throw right into his face in 1 year, if he's well and alive. Blah blah blah. It's not even based on any logic or common sense, okay? It's aimed at people who have no clue about how the economy works. New investments and new financing sources. What the fudge is he talking about? He's saying right now that Russia is doing well financially. It has enough money to self finance all projects. It does not need foreign investments. Russian banking system is stable. Am I crazy or is he? He is reading my words. I swear he saw my stream 2 days ago. He's talking about, the Russian economic system, financial system has been under huge hit, but it has survived. It has prevailed. He's using my words. My gosh. He's bragging about how mortgage portfolios have grown of commercial banks. He's happy about, that there is income of Russian banks, not as big as previous years, but over 200 billion rubles. Yeah, it's 10 times less than a year ago. And he's bragging about that. Savings, savings. He says that personal savings should be stimulated. Well, guess what? 49% of Russians, I saw the statistics, they don't have any savings whatsoever. How can they stimulate them? Because they eat everything that they earn. He's talking about how important it is to develop confidence and ability of Russians to save up. What in the world is he talking about? Oh my god. And then people in the hall are applauding him. Savings of Russia and investments of Russia must be guaranteed, protected, including against the bankruptcies of financial institutions. He's talking, you know what, that blah 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 is, they could have done better than that. They could have come up with something more interesting, something more important. Is he aiming his speech at people who have no clue how economy works, who have no clue what is going on? I don't get it. I'm sorry for the pauses, but I'm listening right here what he's saying. Oh no, he wants to change. He wants to change criminal code of Russia. That part about the economic crimes. Oh, oh, he's saying that the code is too strict, and that the government has to somehow untighten the bolts and nuts. He wants Russian economy to be uh, de-offshoreized, meaning Russian companies shouldn't move money to offshore accounts. Well, why don't you start with your buddies, Mr. Putin? I can tell you where to look. I can tell you which one of your buddies have huge offshore accounts. Why don't you start with them? he's talking that in the 90s there was a disbalance in Russian economy. So the example was the Western countries, and there were plenty of Western consultants, and it seemed enough to copy the models of their business, and it seemed very easy and simple. And at the end, we started to be oriented to be looking at the West, but mainly as the source of materials. And new Russian business was aimed at getting profit fast. Fast profit was to extract resources and sell it, sell the materials, raw materials. Well, you know what, Putin, your friends have been controlling all these areas for 22 years. Why are you telling it to us? Tell it to them. My gosh, who? This speech is insulting. It's insulting to general intelligence. He's blaming companies for getting everything from the West and not developing in Russia. His blames of technologies that were developed in Russia were sold to the West. Instead of creating, work in Russia, the oligarchs would buy yachts, real estate abroad. His friends, oligarchs, people he controls, his friends. How about Kovalchuk? How about Rottenberg families? What is he talking about? So he says that the companies were hard to control because we lived in paradigm of free market, which I guess was not good. He's I'm sorry, folks. I don't know how to explain what he's talking about. He takes concepts that contradict each other. He reminded everyone that he addressed big business, big corporations in Russia and said, "You're gonna be getting tired of swallowing dust in the West, you know, running around the Western courts, and you will get nothing." And this is exactly what happened. I quoted him, just quoted him. He's talking about that oligarchs lost their capitals in the Western banks, and no one felt sorry for them. I don't want to listen to this blah blah blah. It's about nothing. I want to hear his main message. What are we gonna do next? What he's to announce? Definitely, what he's saying is aimed at uneducated, uninformed people who gonna be believing what he's saying. Well, you can't fool me. 2,600 people. Wow. Thank you for coming, my friends. Thanks for the super chats. I don't have time to acknowledge them perhaps at the end, but I'm just listening. I'm reading the feed. I don't even know how to translate. He's talking about how unfair situation was in the 90s towards people, and oligarchs took all the power, and then they were pissing money away, resources of Russia, buying yachts, and no one felt sorry for them and things like that. He's definitely aiming at the emotions of people, not the logic or common sense. He's saying that the Russians will always remain people of lower sort in the West, you know. Well, I don't consider myself lower sort, lower level person. You know what, in the United States, I was equal to the others. So, Putin, you tell it to them anything you want, but don't tell it to me because I know. Now he's calling for entrepreneurs to stay in Russia and change life in Russia for the better. You know what? What the fudge did you do for 22 years? You've been the president of Russia for 22. Well, four out of those you've been the second after president. What? Why didn't you help those people to stay and develop your country? 22 years. Why don't you do that? Why are you calling it right now? Says the goal is Russia to create a strong, self-efficient economy. Russian money that's made in Russia must stay in Russia. Now there are opportunities in every different industry is unprecedented because we need to build everything. He said something about the West I didn't understand. Oh, now you know what the West is. Now you know how to deal with them. You're gonna be lied. You're gonna be conned. He's addressing personally to businessmen, Russian businessmen. Says you're strong people. You know, start new projects, start making money, invest into Russia, open new jobs, help the culture, help the sports. Yeah, this is the message. This is definitely the message to large companies. This is not blah blah. This is he's talking to certain people right now. Not like small time entrepreneurs, but Russian oligarchs, the ones who have large companies. Recommendation to the business to start, creating the business model in the right direction. That's what he said. That's like I said. This is not blah blah blah. That's a real message. Now we continue blah blah blah. Now we're talking about the great Russian civilization. Okay, he's talking about the great Russian civilization that we going to be keeping in touch with our friends. We're gonna be doing cultural exchange. We're gonna be using creative power of Russian Federation. He's talking about the character of Russian populace, Russian people, uh, their generosity, mercy, empathy. We can hold our, we can keep our word. We never fail anyone. What about Ukrainians? We didn't help. What the? We didn't fail Ukrainians. Oh, during the pandemic and CV-19, Russia was helping Western countries. We always come to the rescue. Yeah, to the Ukrainians. Now we have come to help and rescue to the Turkish and the Syrians after the earthquake. Now talking about the rights, constitutional rights. The rights are guaranteed by the Constitution, and we will not change that. Elections in September and the presidential elections next year will take place according to the book of law and taking into account all democratic procedures. I don't know, it's like you'd be joking a lot. He's a funny guy. Can't say him I like him, but he's a funny guy. Looks like blah 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 part is getting to an end. Let me tell you, my friends, to sum up the blah blah part is it's a shame. I do my streams better. I prepare my streams myself. I come up with messages. I research. I do bullets. I rehearse. And it takes me less than a day to prepare a stream. And I do a better job delivering my message, delivering my stream than Putin has just did. Sometimes I speak for an hour, for over an hour. Let me tell you, I do better job than he just did. I was talking about the volunteers who are the front lines. You know what? He just jumps from one topic to another topic. It's like a few sentences about this, few sentences about that. This is a lousy job. Whoever did his speech did a very lousy job. If I was him, I'd be checking my speeches before actually doing them. Unbelievable. Now, he's talking about absolutely nothing. Oh, it's important so we have strong system of education. We're gonna give grants and stuff like that. This isn't just blah blah blah. This is blah 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 about nothing. This isn't an insult to blah blah blah. Let me tell you something else. So far, his speech isn't sinister. So far, there's no message. What if there will be no message? The second, I mean, like real message. What if he just does blah 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 talk? You know what? I would hope so. I just no, not hope. I wish so, but we'll see what happens. Um, Faith Russert, I don't know what to say. I started reading the comments because it's much ado about nothing what he's talking right now. Oh, we have great people, very bright people who working for the future of our country. What are you talking about? Did you come to like deliver a message to Russia, or is this like a concert you warm people up with lesser performers and then you let the big stars on stage? I mean, what is happening? A person, thank you so much. I appreciate your words. I just read the super chat. He's still talking blah blah blah. I don't even find it necessary to interpret you because Medvedev is right there at the front seat. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Let me just give you interpretation of what he's talking about. Oh, shoot. Hang on. Hang on, folks. I don't know, that's not. I'm trying to translate something for you so you understand what I mean. There you go. Hang on. This is this is just blah blah blah. He jumps from how young people must support Russia and then give creative powers to Russia. Then he jumps into people should be getting mortgages. He jumps how Russia is supporting young scientists. Yeah, right. So they all run to the West. That's how you support. Come to Tashkent and see how you freaking support young scientists. I have tons looking for jobs right now. What in the world are you talking about? He's talking about how wonderful, wonderful the development of Russian scientific base, all new universities, the new scientific programs. All right, you know what? I don't care. I don't want to lose my cool. What he's talking about is very well, precisely engineered speech aimed at certain people, the Z people. Not very educated people, because any educated person using common sense understands that this is fluff. Land of plenty, I know that, but you know what? You can't be so stupid to believe this stuff. You know, it's how I think the stupidity is not enough. You gotta mix stupidity with large amounts of vodka. Okay, this is what people do to believe that. Now he's proposing to change to a Soviet system of education. That's not fluff. It says that we need to come back to the Soviet system of educating a specialist from 4 to 6 years. I don't. This is huge. This is huge. This is huge. Okay, this is not fluff. Hang on. Now, he just proposed to change the educational system. Like anyone can go and become a specialist. But if profession requires further education, that person can get master's degree, like additional education. And if person wants to go science into science, that's PhD. What I think he's aiming at that only selected few will be able to continue higher education. Right now, anyone who wants to study to learn further can go and do that. But I think it's going to be limited. This is huge. So they are changing the system of education. He's talking about fluff again. This year is nominated as the year of super like teacher in Russia, teachers most important people in Russia. He's talking about the children's budget of Russia, support to support children. So he's saying that the budget allocated to support children has grown times over the last few years, like many times. Fluff. Guy L, yes, I know. 7 times. I missed that. He said a few times, not 7 times. He's proposing special initiatives to support children. Why don't you just let parents make good living and don't interfere, and then don't just, why don't you just leave them alone? That's it, and the kids are gonna be all right. PT Kustu, would Putin's speech make a good YouTube poop? I don't know what you mean. In Tashkent, how the local authorities taking the flow of Russian intelligence into there. Any they find in jobs. Well, I took a cab today and the driver was Russian, the person who fled Russia in September. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. If you want to talk about that, come back into a regular stream. Brother Randall and everyone, he's been speaking for 90 minutes now, and let me tell you, this is the first part of his speech. He's getting everyone ready for something big, for the big announcement. I think if there will be no announcement, I'll be jump up and joy, up and down and joy. But I think there will be one. He's just giving people promises. I don't know. Some of them are false promises. He wants to change educational system. He wants to beef up Russian economy. He says that Russia is great. The West is bad. Just like I said in the stream, what he would say. But he's getting ready for delivering his message, and the real message is not going to be that long. I'm pretty sure 10-15 minutes perhaps. I thought 1 hour for fluff talk, for blah 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 talk, and 10 to 20 minutes for the message, but he's been talking for hour and a half now, and it's all blah blah blah. Talking that demographic situation depends directly on living standard of people. And how do you increase living standard? You have the government take care of it. The local governments must invest into local infrastructure, into housing and stuff like that. So this is a delusional approach to increasing living standard. You have to encourage people to work more, to make more money. But what they're saying is, oh, we're gonna increase your living standard. The government, local governments are going to take care of that. Okay, and that's what he's talking about now. He's making promises that the local governments will greatly increase, and he says that he's going to be making sure himself that the social programs will be fulfilled. Again, thank you for all super chats. I can't really comment them, but I really appreciate. I'm gonna go over after the stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate your support. Danielski, yes, it kind of is sounding like back to the 1980. A person, I will be buying super chat until you hear me. How did your meeting go? There were 2 meetings, and the third one was cancelled. That's why I'm streaming. I thought I would be at the meeting right now. The meeting went well, or both of them went well. Nothing, like, not a breakthrough, but kind of like a foundation for future work. Brian, well, I am getting bored. Because nothing new, blah, 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 blah. He jumps from one topic to another topic to another topic to another topic, and Lindsay P, thank you. I heard. Do you think about rumors of China supporting Russian military efforts directly? No, I don't believe that. I think China is playing a game and it's using a leverage against the United States. It will not support Russia directly. Okay, now he's talking about. I thought he was done with education 20 minutes ago. Now he's saying that soon there will be 1,300 new schools constructed, and after that, no, in this, like in the very near future, 400 schools all over Russia. Dude, we are at war with Ukraine. Is this what you're supposed to be talking about right now? What the fudge? Thank you, Germo. 78.99. Thank you so much for support. I appreciate it. Thank you for the good words. Mr. Scotch Pie, thank you. And Teresa McCartney, thank you so much. Again, blah, 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 development of small towns and farmland, and the government is so great. It cares about people so much. Oh no, he's talking about clean air. He he says that the government has extended the clean air program until 2030 to make the quality of air better, to lower the bad chemicals in the air. Oh, and he says Russia has already done great recycling. Yeah, that's not true. He's not telling. I know this area. I tried to extract energy, electrical energy from landfills. I know he is not telling us the truth. Now he's talking about how the government is going to take care of water, improve rivers and lakes, make water cleaner in those. One question: where will money come from? Where will money come from? Uh, Thank you so much, a person. I'm seeing your message. 2:30 a.m. in Seattle. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Very touching. Okay, now we get into the message. Blah blah is over. Blah 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 is over. Let me listen, I'll tell you. NATO, countries of NATO offered to continue using the agreement of disarmament, and now they are offering to inspect, to fly over Russia, to continue inspecting Russian nuclear capabilities, and this is nonsense. So we are not allowed to do inspections outside of Russia. They don't react to us, our requests to inspect, but they want to inspect Russia according to this agreement. The USA and NATO are directly saying that their goal is to strategically defeat Russia. And then now they're going to drive around and see our newest technological military factories. Basically saying, nonsense, stay away, we will never let you in. He agrees something. I missed something important. I think other countries. He's talking about basically, you know, the use of nuclear weapons and to keep checks and balances of nuclear weapons. But his speech is not aggressive. He's sort of a defensive, which is good. Our relationship with the USA has degraded, and that's the fault of the USA. It's the USA started reviewing the results of World War II after 1990. The USA is building a world when there's only one master. They destroyed all foundations that were laid in Yalta and Potsdam. They started changing the system of security around the world. They started wars all over the world with one goal: to break the architecture of international relations that was created after World War II. And I mean it. I'm quoting Putin. He says, I mean it. So after the fall of the USSR, the United States tried to fixate, tried to set in stone their sole dominance in the world. Things, of course, change, but what cannot be allowed is that the United States has changed the world for itself. Now, through NATO countries, they're giving us ultimatum. You, Russia, must do like, all the agreements that we had before. You go according to the agreements, and us, we will be behaving anyhow we want. So basically, short summary, what he has said is, uh, we are peaceful, we are good, and they're changing the rules of the game. They're trying to defeat us strategically. What the fudge, you know? No, big. Russia has, from this moment, has stopped its part in the agreement of non-expansion of strategic nuclear weapons. So this is the statement. This is a big one. He says we freeze. We are on pause. We can go back and continue, but we have to understand. We have to understand what about France and Britain? We gotta talk to them too. We're gonna take into their consideration those countries as well because they have strategic nuclear weapons. They made statements that they want to be involved in this process. Okay, but just don't lie, anyone. Don't lie that you want peace. We know you. Okay, so basically says that we know we have some intel that the Western countries will be conducting exercises, test uh, blowing ups of nuclear weapons. We will not do the first ones, but if the USA does that, we will do that as well, he says. Well, thank goodness he said that they're gonna not gonna do it first. He's ending? Says our path is really difficult, you know. Oh, he's not. Keeps on talking about how we have to be united. Now he's getting to the message again. I think he's going to call for everyone to unite behind the government. And the government, he means the motherland, you know. He says that we're on a very difficult path. We're fighting for the motherland, and then there are soldiers that support, soldiers that fighting for our motherland. So far, he hasn't said anything about Ukraine. Almost not every single word. You know, all Russia, all people are supporting our troops. I've heard that before in the USA, about 20 years ago. Support our troops. You know, he's talking about how Russian people just support, send everything they need, that soldiers need to the front lines. They send warm clothes, they send letters, they send. What about the Ministry of Defense and its allocated budget? They couldn't provide everything that the soldiers needed? I guess not. I don't understand where he's getting at. He's talking about he's talking about how great of a support that Russians providing to the soldiers. Why is he saying that for? This is starting to sound like a death cult. I agree with that. Well, a person, please. I don't want to just I have acknowledged everything. Don't. I don't want to run up your bills or anything. Thank you so much. You've done so much. I'm very grateful. I've noticed. Please. Russia will answer any challenges because we're one country, one united populace. We're self-confident. We're confident in our power. The truth is behind us. He didn't declare war. He didn't declare he's gonna kill everyone. Thank goodness. Holy cow. The Russian anthem was playing. He's done. He didn't do anything. He didn't say anything. Holy. Well, you know what? I am relieved. I'm so relieved. His speech was blah, blah, blah. That's it. Wow. Just wow. Wow. Uh, he must be done. The anthem is over. He will not continue, will he? Everyone's leaving. He's left. I'm gonna drink some Metaxa today. I actually will drink now. Just give me a couple minutes. I will tell you what his speech meant and my friends, I am shocked in a good way, in a very good way. I don't know if you have any alcohol around you. I don't drink, but you know, it's would you please cheer with me if you have something uh two piece. Chiching. Wow, just wow. It's really difficult to knock me off balance, but he just did that. His speech was 1 hour 50 minutes. Um, he didn't say anything. His message was basically during the fluff talk. He said two things that more or less important. First, he said that Russia is going to change the educational system, going back to the Soviet system, which is it's been kind of going on. And the second is that he the second part was that he addressed the businessmen, big businessmen. Basically, his message was this: make money, but invest in Russia. Don't take your money offshore. The government will be watching you. Um, and then I thought, I remind you in the stream, I said, please take pens and write down my words, that he would end special military operation and would start counter-terrorist operation. He did not say a word of this, nothing. And it means one thing. Oh, his message was that Russia is placing on pause its involvement into this non-expansion of uh, nuclear weapons treaty. Okay, and it doesn't exit, but it places on pause until two countries that have been very active, saying that they have nuclear weapons and so forth, Great Britain and France, until they clear up their stand. And Putin kind of invited them to be a part of the process, which is nothing radical, which is nothing, nothing evil, nothing sinister. Uh, that sounds okay to me, and that's it. That's it. It means one thing: he doesn't know what to do. Tsung, and he doesn't know how to get out of this Tsung, and he understands that anything he does would make his position worse. Wow, just wow. Anyway, folks, I am absolutely relieved. Thank you for coming. Let me just acknowledge super chats, the ones that I can. And, thank you so much for supporting me, by the way. I wasn't really looking because I was listening to his speech. I was afraid to miss things. A person, thank you so much. You've sent so many super chats. Thank you so much. I appreciate them. Staying here, we're all for you, my friend. Thank you so much. Sending love to Seattle from Uzbekistan. RW, again, thank you so very much. I'll be in touch on Patreon. Riot Game X, thank you for your support. Michael Barnes, thank you from the UK. Thank you so much. XYZ, an insult to blah blah blah. Well, some parts were insult to blah blah blah. And Golden Beasley, thank you for filtering out the horse manure or bull stinky stuff. A bit early for a drink here, but cheers anyway. Well, you know what? That's a special occasion. I'm gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna have a dinner. My friend is visiting me. He's staying in my apartment for one more day. We're gonna go out and we're gonna have a dinner and we're gonna drink vodka. Oh, Karilka, I don't know. Karen from Maine, continued support. Love and appreciated for your calm, balanced reporting from your admirers in Maine and the world. Karen, thank you so much. I hope we meet one day. I would, if I see you ever, I just would come up and give you a hug. Thank you so much. GJ, thank you so much for your support and thanks for everyone. I don't see the other super chats, they kind of like gone, but I saw that there were plenty. Thank you, everyone. Luke King, thank you too. I will be doing the usual stream today. I'm not gonna cancel it, and I'm gonna be discussing the implications of what's going on. So, my friends, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so relieved, and thanks for coming and being here with me. Whew. Thank you so much. Uh, Praying tonight, but right now I gotta tell you one thing: Carthago delenda est. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Hopefully tonight.